Ready? 1 second.
Why was he taking 10 million when he sold these state broadcasters? Call you direct. So you're supposed to have a state broadcast gadget, which of course was issued to you. Nobody's supposed to call you on it. Anyway, folks, I would like to first of all thank all of you for coming. And I would like to say, on behalf of the management and staff here at LBS, we want to welcome you wholeheartedly. And when I say LBS will never be the same, that's why when you guys came here, you had water, juices, and everything given to you. That's part of the improvements here at LBS. However, I want to thank all of you for coming, especially the Front Page Africa, the Spoon Network, DNTV, our own LNTV, all of you guys. I want to say thank you for coming, and that you guys do a very magnificent job. Well, we're here because, and first I'll give Front Page Africa the credit for contacting me directly to get my side of the story. I had no clue that DSTV chose, was it a Saturday, sir? You go and have a press conference on a Saturday, it means that we wouldn't know because some of us are busy doing our Friday stuff, and that majority of the press conference had to do with Eugene Fahngon and a very serious allegation that I, Eugene Fahngon, had taken DSTV complaint to the House of Representatives, and that predicated upon that, the truth of the matter, I mean, according to their press conference, they had contacted me and we have had a couple of meetings, and that I wanted them to place LMTV on their DSTV platform, and that they had quoted me an amount, and since I couldn't meet up with what they wanted me to come up with monthly, that I, Eugene Fahngon, took the complaint to the National Legislature, to be specific, the House of Representatives. They made some other allegations, but I'd like to start from there. I'd like to state for the record that at no time did I take any complaint, be it verbal or written, to the legislature, and in particular the House of Representatives. I'm capable of handling DSTV any day, any hour, any place. And I think DSTV recognizes my capabilities and my ability. And I don't think they will ask the nation to consider me as a coward, that I cannot deal with DSTV. I have to go and take a complaint of the entity of representatives. No, or verbally complain DSTV to the House. Here is the actual story with the evidence before the press to see. If you look at the document in my hand, it's 10. The date on this document is May 17, 2024. It's on the top here. My secretary received this document on May 21st, 2024 at 10:51 a.m. The record will show. This document came from the House, and this is what it says. Swedish Embassy. Oh. Wednesday at the Capitol Conference Room. We'll be looking at bill to establish community radio. Okay, so this was from DJ Bernard Blue to establish community radio. That was my first time going to the house. I went there. The second time I went to the house, I was invited along with DSTV, SATCOM, Telecel, and LTA. And they wanted to have a round table meeting. A round table meeting with all of the broadcasting, entities. So we went in. Not knowing what to expect, I decided to go in with my book. You can see right here, Human Resource Manual. But in this book also is the decree that established the Liberian Broadcasting System. When we got there, it was a round table. The LTA wasn't present. SATCOM was there. DSTV was there. LNTV was there. And we started the round table conversation. Speaking from one thing to the other, I presented evidence by law that we were supposed to make a determination on several items that the satellite or cable companies were not taking into consideration. And I cited a number of issues to them. And I raised the issue that SATCOM had LNTV on channel 1. As you can see behind you there, that's LNTV on channel 1 on SATCOM. Then we raised the issue with DSTV. And DSTV tried to say that if that's something that was compulsory, I said everywhere in the world it is. But I would like to inform the Liberian people today that the first meeting I had with DSTV was to ask DSTV, like SATCOM is doing, to host LNTV on channel 1. Nowhere in the world you go to any country, cable company is working there, they're providing services, and you don't have the local television mounted there. Nowhere. And I raised that issue. So here is why DSTV is running ahead to do what they're not supposed to be doing. When I asked DSTV to hang the state-run entity on channel 1 as it is, they charged me $38,000 monthly. I thought it was a joke, but it was serious. They left and went to the Ministry of Information through one Mary Williams, met with the Minister of Information. He then rerouted Mary over here. Mary came with the same story. And I told Mary we will not give her a dime to do what they're supposed to do. Immediately following that, I want the Liberian people to know, I launched an investigation along with my technical team to find out why DSTV was refusing. Only to find out that DSTV did not even have a screwdriver in this country. Unlike SATCOM, where you can go and see the transmitter room, see the equipment, and see whatever, that DSTV was only a mere scratch card seller, if you want to put it that way, subscription. They only take your money and do the filling of the form for you. They don't have any machine yet. But I did not carry the complaint. I did not tell them that what you're doing was wrong. I continue to do my job here at LBS. So when we met members of the House and they raised the issue, I then told the members of the House that these people don't have screwdriver yet. And they asked them, members of the House, asked them, is it true? They say, yeah, we're in the process of building a facility, which prompted members of the legislature to ask, how long have you been operating in Liberia? They said nearly 25 years. The same question was posed to Satcom. Satcom said a little over 10 years. And the legislature asked the legislators, how is it that Satcom is carrying these people on Channel 1 and you cannot do the same? They said they don't have the facility here. They have no facility here, was their response. How do you operate a digital company in a country where you don't have a facility? You cannot even repair anything. You cannot straighten nothing. How? How? Our kids watch television. If the Liberian can say that we will show the post to see it because we have no control. If there is some foul language, a form of violence, our kids get to see it because you have no control room set up. You do not control anything. But I was able to present that case that day, and we were invited to return to the capital last week, Wednesday. While I was heading to the capital, I got on the grounds of the capital. I was informed by the chairman, Representative Abba June of Magidi, that DSTV had written to ask for an extension to Friday, which was this gone Friday. When we got to the capital, this gone Friday, the head and CEO of DSTV, Mr. Simeon Fremont, again did not show up as he did not on the first, the second time, and now the third time he did not show up. When asked why he did not show up, the lady representing him, I think one, Mr. Fakoli, Mrs. Fakoli or this, Fakoli, said that the DSTV boss was busy. That was our response. 3 different times the representative really wanted to get her to understand the magnitude of what she was saying. So they asked her repeatedly, are you sure that you are telling us from this committee that this man is too busy to be here to answer to the representatives of the people? She repeated yes 3 separate times. And when they attended this on Friday, the Kingwood Councillor laughed at Goom as a representative. The decision was taken to send them back and to send a communication to Mr. Simon Fremont to show cause why he should not be held in contempt for invading on 3 separate occasions the invitation of the lawmakers. At no time did Eugene Fahngon carry a complete written or verbal. The letter sent to us is right here, September 13, 2024. And it reads thus quickly. I present compliments and write by directive of Honorable Abba K. Jones, Chairman, House Committee on Post and Telecommunications, to invite you to a meeting scheduled for Wednesday, September 18, 2024 at 2 p.m. in the Speaker's Conference Room, New Annex, House Wing. The meeting is in continuation of the last one held Wednesday, September 4, 2024. But in your absence, the call meeting will focus on pertinent issues that affect your entity and others under the oversight of the House Committee on Post and Telecommunications. And as such, you are kindly requested to submit the below documents in this instance. They include, there they are right there, they listed them, which I will call out. Work plan, organization chart, business license, business registration, including any other relevant document you may have to enhance the pending discussion. Meaning, all along we were having a discussion. I think what the DSTV people are doing is to escape the wrath of the Liberian people. They've used the Liberian people too long. They made them pay astronomical rates that no normal person in their right mind knowing that they don't have anything here, would be paying them. Yes, LBS was established by a decree. I will ask you guys to continue to refresh yourself. Here's the decree. PRC decree number 20 was what established and is considered the act that governs us. If you go to number 10, it tells you quickly that the powers and objectives in section 2, I'd like for you to take note, section 2. Section 2. The power and objectives of the Liberian broadcasting system. One of them includes number 10, which I will read for the public, to determine fair and reasonable rates, fees, and charges which shall be charged in connection with radio and television broadcasting services. It's one of such things we can do. Now, one of the things we can also under an international broadcasting or radio conferences and activities. Section 2, number 8. We are supposed to, number 8, engage in and conduct studies and experiments with a view to improving the suitability of radio and television broadcasting facilities and equipment to local conditions. That's the law. These people did not follow any guideline. We have not made a determination as to whether the equipments are suitable yet. We've not. That's not the only one. We are supposed to handle every broadcasting operation in this country when it comes to television and radio. The laws are very clear. I can go on and on and on and on. Here, there's so much power that we have not used. And for them to go out there and say, we carried a complaint, we want to shut them down, let me state for the record, in front of all of you, I think DSTV should be shut down. You don't own a facility yet. You don't come from another country to come and sell subscription yet. We can subscribe online. We can subscribe to friends. But you come under the canopy of operating in Liberia for almost 25 years and you don't have even one antenna yet. That's why when it rings, DSTV services are disrupted. Who pays for it? How does the customer get reimbursed? And I think that's what they should be focused on. But nowhere in the world you will enter a country and not see the local television on the channels there from a satellite company. Nowhere. And I challenge DSTV to show me where. But they told us to pay $38,000 a month just to put the local channel. But the real reason why they charge us is now known today. It's because they don't have a screwdriver in the Republic of Liberia. They don't have that capability and they cannot do so. And thankfully, DSTV Liberia said to you in the press conference yesterday that they have to go to what? Choice television? Multi-choice. We are also on multi-TV. That's how people in Gambia and other places are watching us. You cannot operate in our country, in our airspace, using our digital equipment in the Republic of Liberia, using our telecommunications broadcasting gadgets, and you say you cannot host us. How did you even start operating here for the last 25 years? And less. If you have operated in Liberia over 20 years, as admitted by them at the house, how come somebody who operated here just barely 10 years can host us, as you can see on the screen over there, but you don't have the ability, capability, and not even the equipment to host us? And you want to use Fahngon as a scapegoat to say, I carry your complaint? I can deal with you myself. And I can deal with you all by myself. And that's why when I came there, I made it clear that LBS will never be the same. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen of the media, a lot of times I heard people argue that LBS is by decree. Therefore, they cannot do anything. It is not an act, it is a decree. Today, I will state for the record here, backed by the Constitution of this country. This is the Liberian Constitution, the 1986 Constitution. Am I correct? You members of the press. Article 97A, and I want the world to listen to this today. Quote, no executive, legislative, judicial, or administrative action taken by the People's Redemption Council or by any persons, whether military or civilian, in the name of that council, pursuant to any of its decrees. I repeat, pursuant to any of its decrees, shall be questioned in any proceedings whatsoever, and accordingly, it shall not be lawful for any court or other tribunal to make any order or grant any remedy of relief in respect of any such act. I'm sure you members of the media are now shocked that the Constitution 97A says that no court, no legislature, no executive. So until the Constitution is amended, this decree number 20 states it is backed by law. But we must be careful, because in Article 2, it is clear in Article 2 that the Constitution is the supreme and fundamental law of Liberia, granted. But it is clear that any laws, treaties, statutes, decrees, as in this one, customs and regulations found to be inconsistent with it, shall to the extent of the inconsistency be void and of no legal effect. So, sometimes people argue, oh, there is a law, this other person, they got this. No, anything that is inconsistent with this Constitution, to the extent of the inconsistency, shall be void. And I'd like to state, you saw the decree, I read for you the decree, you saw what backs the decree, it's 97A. It tells you nobody can touch it. But we have not used such power against anybody. We came here to LBS, you can see for yourself, we're working here quietly, we're improving the system. We're pleased to announce that our substations are working. All of them are few, no problem. What we're doing here, you see our vehicles out there, you see our yard clean, you see the LDC people working, you see construction work on the complex, you see our offices being redone. Again, we are focused on our work. And so for DSTV to hold such a childish press conference to say I took their complaint to the House, it's an insult to the House. It means the House does not know what they're doing. The Committee on Post and Telecommunication is not capable enough to summon and ask, as you saw in the document, to say, what are you guys doing, who's doing what and what. I think they wanted to insult the committee. And so they're trying to use me as a scapegoat. Yes, if I want to complain you, I think the right option would be to shut it down to the court of law, but not to take a complaint to the House. And I think the House just wanted to do its job. The committee wanted the Liberian people to benefit, and the House decided to send for us to find out what we were doing. And now the House has found out that DSTV does not have a screwdriver in this country. For over 20 years, they've manipulated and they've swindled money out of the pockets of our citizens on grounds that they have a facility here, when in fact they do not have one. They do not. And they admitted to the committee. That is what is disturbing. And they said that they are constructing one as we speak. After 20 years, after more than 20 years is now, and you charge up 38,000 when you know you did not have a facility. So even if we have paid 38,000, what are we going to do? Call somewhere in South Africa or Nigeria to say, please hang the national television? Liberia has suffered too long. This country deserves better. And with some of us sitting where we are, there will be no compromise. You will either hang us on, or you will cease to exist here as a cable company or a digital company or a satellite company. Because that's not who you are. I want the record to reflect that. You cannot say, I am a preacher, but you can't preach. I am a mechanic, but you can't repair cars. I'm a doctor, but you cannot work in the hospital. That is unfair to the people. So you will be who you are, and that is selling subscription from a foreign country. But I don't think you should be seen here as a cable company when you don't even have a screwdriver in this country. Shouldn't be that way. Thank you very much, members of the press. I'll take your question.
Let's comment this area about from Fish Africa. Yeah, with your last closing statement, you just mentioned that either put up in or be shut down. Can you compare the two statements? Someone listening to you who have not heard what have happened and then making such statement, don't you think they will take DSTV statement for true that indeed complain into the National Guest Legislature?
I don't think so, because I just said I did not, and I read to you the communication that we were sent for. We were sent for together. They sent for them, they sent for LTA, they sent for Telecel, they sent for Satcom, they sent for me. So how can I be the one that somebody will think, oh, don't you think they will believe it that you took their complaint? No, we were all sent for. And we explained our basic facts, and they got caught. They got caught hands down that they were operating in this country on a scam, that they were a cable company providing services here when they did not have a screwdriver. And that's why I told my story of how I wanted them to hang LNTV on channel 1 as it is all around the world. But they charged me $38,000 a month, which was bogus. And now they've been caught with their pants down. They're crying, oh, you carry our complaint. So you guys knew you were doing something bad? But I did not carry the complaint. And that's why I want to clarify. We were all invited. On the second part of your question, how do you see it? How do I see it? I just read the law to you. We are supposed to be able to conduct studies to see whether the operations here is feasible to our local condition. And guess what? We are the only ones that have the technological know-how because we're in the business. I also read to you number 7 that says we represent the government interest of Section 2. Here it is. To represent the government interest in national and international broadcasting, all radio conferences and activities. So it's either or. So we can represent the government interest. And so if you don't have anything doing, don't lie to our people. You don't have a screwdriver. Simple. I did not take your complaint, but I think I'm about to take you somewhere now so that you cease to operate here on a false pretense that you have a cable company when you don't. You are only selling subscription. That's the point I'm making.
Thank you. My name is Strogon Flana and I report for School Network. Your closing statement again, this is where I will come in. Where from here, since this situation does exist between you and DSTV, what steps should we expect from you since you have the constitutional backing and all of that? That's one. And secondly, DSTV, one of the things that they said in a press conference is that in terms of content, they said there are high quality content that they usually have on DSTV. Does the LBS have, any content to offer to the people across the world on DSTV?
First of all, I think these people are out of touch with reality. We are on multi-TV. As I speak to you, you're standing right in this office, you're looking at LNTV on Satcom. People are watching us in Gambia, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, because we are on multi-TV and we're on Satcom. The idea that do you have high quality content, that's bogus. It does not matter what quality of content we have. What matters is that you should provide the services to the Liberian people on the #1 spot on your platform. That's what matters. So all the other people providing on multi-TV, on Satcom, are they requiring of us high quality content? So you want everyone Malawala dancing, and we're showing it on TV. Is that not high quality content? When we're showing our cultural performances from Bessar, is that not high quality content? When we're showing our Liberian movies, is that not high quality content? When the news, which you guys watch television, the news comes on around the nation in 60 minutes, all the news from around the country, is that not high quality content? What high quality content do you think we should show? Explicit languages or sexually violent images? Is that what they call high content? We're supposed to sanction those things. Our kids are around. But how do you track it when you are only selling subscription? You don't have any means. You don't have any way of controlling what is on the screen because you are selling subscription in Liberia. You got no facility. You got no transmitter. You got no computer, no way of saying, oh, this one is bad for the children. Take it off the screen. You don't have the ability. You don't have the capability. You are only selling subscription. And that, my friend, is wrong. So the issue is not about whether we have high content quality. If we did not have it, Satcom will not have us. Multi-TV will not have us. And we will not be operating a television facility. As you can see on the screen behind you, that's LNTV right there. And it's on. And it's on. You know, that's what's on now, showing Janga Giant for the young, people. But you can't do that. I'll take another couple of questions.
Yeah, let me just do a follow-up. Yes. While you were speaking, you mentioned the $38,000 that DSTV charge you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that you cannot afford that amount, or you do not want to pay a cent, as you mentioned?
Even if I had 30 million United States dollars given to me by the government now, I would not give them a brown copper. Why? Because it's part of the deal. We are the state-run broadcasting television station. We deserve the #1 spot. And it should be reserved as it is in Sierra Leone, Gambia, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, everywhere. Because, hold on, that's where you watch local content. Meaning when somebody enters the country and they are in their hotel room, and that hotel only has DSTV services, and they say, let me see something locally. What's the local news? How do they watch it? What's happening in Liberia? How do they see it? I give you a typical example. A friend of mine who did not have Samsung said, oh, I'll rush into my friend's house to see if you recall the demonstration or the riot was in front of CDC headquarters that day. We were reporting live on a breaking news. But the only place you could see it, it was only on LNTV, and he had to go to a friend's house because he is a DSTV customer. They did not have it.
So, Mr. Fahngon, that brings me to this question. I don't even know that DSTV is a private business institution. And secondly, if you are demanding that LBS take the #1 spot on the platform of DSTV, don't you see other people around who see the government being, private businesses being muscled in this form? Because it is a private institution. Then will you also tell us that, do you have that constitutional power to tell Spoon FM, for example, OKFM, for example, what content to broadcast in the bureau.
The government through the information ministry expresses that. I served as deputy minister in that ministry for almost 4 years, don't forget. We have strict guidance on that. But in the case of Spoon TV and all these online stuff, they are not cable companies. They're not like Satcom and DSTV. That's why you guys are here with your gadgets. When you say you are a cable company, it means you have a platform that subscribes and have different channels with input.
Okay.
You get that? But that's who they are. And they are operating within our airspace and using our communications airspace to transmit. Therefore, we reserve the right to be placed at that number one spot. Why is it that multi-TV can do it? Satcom can do it, but DSTV can't. The reason is simple. Because DSTV does not have a screwdriver in this country. They are selling subscription. And so they should be moved for that and not be called DSTV Liberia. That's misleading. It's misleading. That's the point I'm making.
Okay. Thank you. And then finally, you want to?
Well, my final comment is that to the DSTV family, my name is Eugene Fahngon. I don't run from things. I face them. I have no reason to take your complaint verbally or writtenly. We all were sent for at the same time. But because you could not stand my presentation over there that made you lose God, don't misinform the people that Fahngon took your complaint. As a matter of fact, the 3 times I've been there, on the first occasion, it was when I made my presentation. On the second occasion, you took a lawyer. You took excuse and said we should postpone to Friday. We show up on Friday, you came with your lawyer, like that who. But you have nothing to present. And if we show up 20 more times, you will have nothing because you have nothing. You are selling subscription in the country under the pretext that you have a cable company or a satellite link company. You don't. You are selling subscription. Simple. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to the members of